This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
Jessie McGrath, and I have been a deputy district attorney for Los Angeles County for the last 35 years. And I transitioned on the job, I guess it was 8 years ago now. And so it's been a great job, and they've been actually really good towards me and my whole transition and stuff. But it's it was kind of a shock when I finally realized I was trans, and it was kind of a shock to everybody around me.
So when you say it's kind of shocked, does that mean like you don't show any sign? Or let's just go back to maybe to your younger self, like in your 20s. Do you feel anything different, like in the gender?
Oh, I knew as a girl when I was a young child. I mean, I got in trouble in kindergarten for going to take nap time with the other girls. I was told I couldn't do that. And I was like, well, why? I'm with my friends. And it was, so it was very early on in me. And I just really didn't know what it was, but there were, I had a silk slip that I had found in one of my relatives' old house in an old trunk that was, and so I kept that hidden, and I would wear that in my room at night at times. I knew it was there. And when I was in college, I actually went to a therapist, and it was for a number of issues. And I was trying to get out that I was a girl, and I just never could say those words.
Yeah.
But as I got a little older, I ended up finding ways to fit in and everything. And I grew up for most of my life in Colorado, but when I was a junior in high school, I moved to a very, very, very small town in Nebraska. We have like 65 people. I had 33 people in my high school graduating class. Wow. And so being 6'2" and being fairly athletic, I was told I was joining the football team, so I ended up becoming a 3-sport letter person, the vice president of the student council, leading the school play. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fit in, but I still had that secret and occasionally taking my mom's makeup and doing my eyes,
Okay.
And then I ended up going to law school, and I ended up getting married in law school.
Okay, so when you got married, is it to a woman?
Yes.
And did she knew anything about your Jessie side?
No, because I never could discuss it with anybody.
Okay.
And so there were a few times in the marriage when she was gone, and the kids were all out of the house, and I would put on one of her dresses, and I would use some of her makeup and, do my eyeliner but I kept pushing it away.
Right.
That it was wrong. That it was not, it was, sinful, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's related to many people, including myself. Like when I first felt that way, like you said, I didn't know what's that feeling about. And at first, I just thought I might have some gay issue, put it that way, right? And I didn't tell anyone as well. And so I think that's a norm. That's most of people's us girls' journey.
Yeah, to me, I tell people the hardest person to come out being trans to was myself, because I didn't want, I couldn't see myself that way. I mean, I would envision at times, yes, but I always made it go away. I mean, there was a time when my ex-wife got a job in Colorado, and I was still in LA working in the DA's office, and I got some I got some camisole or something from Big Lots and some makeup and, and wore that and stuff. And then, I had to purge that eventually. But I couldn't throw it away at my house because then somebody would know about the transvestite DA, and I could just see. And so it really was
Yeah.
there, and it was really there pretty hard, but I was always managed to make it go away.
Okay, so when you mentioned go away, because I personally have that experience before, like try to, because I date girls before, and I was thinking, okay, then maybe I got married at late 20s, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this feeling will go away, which it did for a short time. And then it came back actually stronger. Do you have that experience? Like when you try to make it go away, and when it comes back, it kind of comes back feeling stronger than the last time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
strange.
until the last one hit at the end of 2014, and then it was like,
You can't hide anymore, right?
why does this keep coming back? Why do I keep feeling this way? Why is
Right.
this? And so at that point, I finally got online and started doing some research and looking, and I was like, oh my God, this explains so much.
Wow.
This is like, it was like a mass revelation. And I ended up, going from buying sporting stuff on Amazon to breast forms and bras and makeup and dresses, and suddenly it was like back so hard. And so it took me a while, but I finally got online. I looked around and read a lot of literature on the stuff. And it was like, wow, it all makes sense now. It all kind of came together. And so the first person I came out to was a cousin of mine who I grew up with. She's only a couple months younger than I. And so we grew up on my grandparents' farm a lot. We were together a lot. And I got the courage up, I think it was shortly after Christmas. And I asked her if I could tell her something if she promised she would never, ever, ever, in a million years, tell anybody at all. This is like the most top level secret. And I sent her some pictures.
Oh. And what's her reaction?
And she goes, very beautiful, great skin, and that's you? ? And she goes, wow, these are great. How long ago did you have these taken? And it was like, last week. She was so great because when I told her, she was like, oh, it all makes sense now. So it wasn't only me.
Yeah.
It was one of the people I was closest to in the world understood it.
Right. So because I heard this thing recently, because somehow it says our society, because we have so many single parents, for example. I'm not sure if your family tradition, are they? Because for my personal experience, my dad wasn't really around growing up. Like he came here like when I was 3. So the documentary I was watching or some YouTube video, they were saying our society, because of that reason, and a lot of male are more feminine these days, or missing the the masculine part of it. So I'm not sure if that's what I heard. So how's your family react to your transition?
Well,
are they surprised?
My parents got divorced when I was 8, but my dad, but I was a girl before they got divorced.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't think it's that part of it. But they got divorced when I was fairly young, but I was always a sensitive kid, and I always emotional, and it was,
Same here.
And that's why I think my cousin, she goes, it's so obvious now. But my mom had passed away, and she passed away in 2011. And so in 2014, we were going to go back to the farm and go through my mom's stuff, because my stepdad had never gone through her things, because he wanted us to do it, and he wasn't ready for it. So, 3 years later, we made plans to go back in the summer, and then he got sick, and then he ended up passing away in September.
Wow.
And so now I'm back at the farm with my brother and my
Mhm.
sister, and we're having to go through things. And
Mhm.
there's my mom's clothes, which I remember borrowing, and her makeup's still there,
Mhm.
and so it just hits me.
Mhm.
And I ended up taking a bunch of my mom's clothes back with me and
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
and it was that's when I did that. So unfortunately, my mom, who always knew she had a daughter, I think she really did. I think she
Yeah.
found some of my stuff. I think she had to have
Right.
known,
Yeah.
but so she never got to meet Jesse. But my dad, who's now 85 years old,
Mhm.
he's actually been really, really good.
Good.
He sends me birthday cards, Christmas
Wow,
cards,
that's so
to
sweet.
my daughter, and
Mhm.
writes incredibly beautiful messages
Mhm.
in there for me. And so he's really, really good about it.
Yeah, my mom actually just passed away 2 months ago.
Oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
yeah, no worries. So what you just said is really reflect. I can make the connection. I understand, and once she passed away, I suddenly realized a lot of things. Like, I feel that she built this invisible bridge for me, and once she's gone, I can see it clearly now.
It's so
So
amazing. My kids
yeah.
say, "Oh my God, you're becoming grandma."
Yeah, so that's why I can relate it to you. Um, so besides that, when you transition, mentioned at work, at your DA career, did how did that go?
It was I wasn't the first DA to transition. There had actually been somebody on the same floor that I was on
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years before me,
Right.
and so in talking with one of my coworkers who I first kind of came out to,
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Well, she went around and talked to everybody kind of individually," and he
Mm-hmm.
goes, "I really thought that was a great thing." So I went around to the people I was working with and met with them individually and showed them some pictures and told them what
Yeah.
was going on, and they were all surprised, obviously. And then apparently one person that I talked to um, was horrified that I was going to be allowed to use the women's restroom, and so she went to
Oh.
HR and wanted to know what she could do to stop.
Uh-huh.
And so I ended up getting a call from HR
Yeah.
saying, "You don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but we've heard a couple rumors, and we just want to let you know that we're here for you if you
Mm-hmm.
need us for anything." And I was like,
Right.
"Oh, you mean about my transition? Yeah, that's not a rumor. I'm doing that, and I think we should probably get together and talk about what the
Mm-hmm.
timelines are going to be. Or
Right.
when's a good time for you? Can I come down now?"
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, and what happened after that? Did they?
I went down, I met with them. I told
Mm-hmm.
them that I had a court date for my name and gender change in
Mm-hmm.
another month, and that we were in the process of moving from an office building over to the Hall of Justice. And so that was
Right.
scheduled for like June 15th, which was
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks after my name and gender change. So I was like, well, hey, we're moving to the new building. Why don't we just make that the official day?
Mm-hmm.
And really, so when I moved into the new building, everything was Jesse.